Morning guys, it's Amy. It's been a little while since I've done a live, and so I thought I'd come on and see who was about this morning. I know that some of you will be at work, some of you will be getting ready for parties and events and things tonight. So I just really wanted to come on quickly live this morning, and hopefully I don't get interrupted. Currently, thank you to CBeebies and Goldilocks and Three Bears Pantomime. My little one is being very occupied right now. I wanted to come on this morning because I know that I'm hearing a lot of noise at the moment on social media about setting your goals for 2019, getting really clear on what it is you want to achieve, setting yourself up right from 1st of January to get ready to get going. And I wanted to come on to talk to you guys today and just say, don't panic if you haven't yet got your goals down on paper, if you haven't quite set your New Year's resolutions, because yeah, it's nice to start January the 1st, start off the new year, but we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get things right from day one. And for me, if you're making any changes, whether it's in your life, your business, your mindset, you just need to start. And really, it doesn't matter when. If you missed the 1st of January, all is not lost. You haven't got to wait until next year or the 1st of February. Just start. So I really wanted to just share with you a couple of ideas that I had around this. And some of this is also because I haven't got my goals noted down in kind of big flashy lights yet. I've got ideas, I've got things on paper, I already know what I'm working towards. And people say, oh, you're a coach, sure you should be living and breathing this stuff. And yeah, I do every single day. And it's big and it's alive and it's right in front of my face all the time of what I want to achieve. But actually, sometimes just stopping, taking stock of what you've achieved, what you're proud of, what you've learned from, what you've learned about yourself along the way, those things are really important. And quite often our mind gets caught up in the kind of what next, moving forward, let's achieve the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And that's great. And sometimes we need that drive and that determination. We need to capture that momentum to achieve what we want. But it is really important to stop and take stock. So I want you to have a think about that today. So probably 3 questions. What am I proud of from 2018? What have I achieved? What do I feel like I've achieved? And what have I learned from or learned about myself? Or probably both those questions. And I would really just encourage you to write those things down. So what am I proud of? What have my achievements been? What have I learned from or learned about myself during 2018? And some of you might have seen that probably back in September, I did a bit of work around just actually my achievements, and it was only really focused very lightly. And what I did is I just grabbed a blank sheet of paper, and I'll show you mine in just a second. I grabbed a blank sheet of paper and I just sat down for maybe 5-10 minutes, and I went back to it a couple of times after that, just for maybe another couple of minutes each time, and just started noting what I felt like I'd achieved. And when you actually have it down on paper, it's amazing. You really undervalue some of the little things that you've achieved. So I've got mine in front of me here. So one of the big things that I was proud of was launching my 6-week online program in January last year. And there's a refreshed version of that coming this year, which is very, very exciting. So that was one of my big achievements. But also I put on here things like actually just, getting a bit braver with Facebook Lives, coming out to you guys a bit more, just showing a bit more about me and who I am and what I'm about. Running Reiki training and things like that. Also things that, I signed up with an accountant. I've been managing all that myself and it was really stressing me out. So I just kind of bit the bullet and did it. Best decision I ever made. And I actually called it at the time, there you go, you can probably just about see it, my 2018 accomplishments so far, because that was, as I say, back in September. And all I did was just do a little spider diagram. I know this is backwards for you guys watching on the live, so I will post a picture of this in the comments as well. Not really to show off, but just to show you just some of the basic stuff that I'm putting down on paper. Some of it is about my mindset, some of it's about my goals, but really just to stop to take stock of what it is you've achieved and give yourself that chance to reflect and be proud of everything you've done. And it's so important to acknowledge what you've got going on, what you've achieved, what you're doing really well, and even things like just keeping the family together, keeping on top of the housework, those things are really important. But also, just thinking about what you want to achieve in 2018. Just bear with me a moment. Sweetheart, just wait a minute, I'll be right there. Fingers crossed, you might get a visitor in a minute. Just thinking about what it is you want to achieve, and the chances are you've probably got those things already in your head about, you know, what do I want? Maybe you want to kind of spend more time with family, maybe you want to take up a new hobby, whatever it is, you've probably already got those ideas swimming around in your head, but just allow them to flow, just put them onto paper. You're not committed to anything when they're down on paper, they're just out of your head, and when you've given yourself that bit more headspace, you can then craft those ideas a bit more. And I'm a big fan of just getting stuff down on paper, grabbing some sticky notes, putting ideas around it. You know, grabbing some bits of paper kind of like this, just writing goals and writing things all around so you can see what it means to you. And don't put loads of pressure on yourself to come up with stacks and stacks of goals. The best thing to do is to just think, what do I actually want to achieve? Okay, so what's my first step to get there? And what's my next step, and how am I going to move that forward? So, and I'll be putting out some live content around this and some other bits and pieces over the next month to really help you get really clear about what it is you want to achieve, not just in January, but also, you know, for the rest of your year and where you want to focus. Morning, if you're joining me live this morning, it's great to have you here. Hi Julie, it's great to see you. I'm talking a little bit about don't panic if you haven't set your New Year's resolutions and goals, because quite often we get really hung up about starting things on January the 1st, but actually it doesn't matter if it doesn't quite pan out like that. What's really important is that you actually take stock to think about what are you most proud of, you know, what have you achieved, what have you learned along the way, and you know, and thinking about how you're going to use that in the next year or so. And I know you've ticked off some big things from your goal list in 2018, Julie, as well, so it's great to have you here today. But it's all about, you know, thinking about what it is you've achieved, getting really clear about what it is you want, putting those ideas on paper. They don't have to be perfect straight away, but actually when you've given yourself that headspace of putting them down on paper, you can then start to think about, so what do I need to do to move those things forward? A couple of top tips for me around setting goals: they have to be something you actually want to achieve, not something that someone else thinks you need to or someone else thinks you should do. You have to want to do those things yourself. You have to feel committed to it. You might not feel happy about doing it. It might be something that you feel like, okay, I need to do this because, you know, I want to achieve something later on in the year. Maybe it's about getting to a certain weight or getting to a certain fitness level to achieve something. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it might mean that actually you just need to get focused on what it is you need to achieve. And then getting those things on paper and then thinking about what is it that I need to do to make those things happen, and how do I want to achieve those things moving forward. Come here, sweetheart, and just talk to me a minute. So those are different things that you can do around just getting really clear, and I will put some more content out about this later on in the month as well. One of the things that I've also got written down here is make sure you get some accountability. So whether it's a friend or a family member, although there is a bit of a caveat on that, sometimes friends and family members, whilst they're really supportive, they've got your best interests at heart, aren't always the ones that are going to give you the most help. So I know from personal experience and from friends and family, you know, you might be saying, oh, I'm going to have a dry January, for example. And then you have a friend that says, oh, come on, let's just have one glass of wine, you know, and it very easily kind of, your spirit kind of can break a little bit and just think, oh, it's just one. And then before you know it, you're sort of off the wagon. So just think about who you want to support you, who you want to be accountable to, what it is that you need that accountability for, whether it's staying focused, whether it's staying positive, whether it's someone just say, so how have you been doing with that this week, and just checking in. And I'm going to be posting some accountability challenges over the month and beyond. And I'd love for you guys to get involved. If you've already got some goals set aside, feel free to be a part of that, because the more that we can support, encourage, and also gently challenge each other to achieve those things, the more likely we are to stay on track. Because actually, particularly if it's a lifestyle change, it can take a little while for you to get into that habit of doing things a bit differently. So accountability is another big thing. So taking stock of where you are, getting your ideas down on paper, even if they're rough, and then also thinking about the accountability. And as I say, the chances are that all those things are staring you right in the face. You just need to give yourself that moment to just download a little bit and then think about what it is, how you want to pull that together. And I'm going to be running a goal setting masterclass in January as well. So you're very welcome to participate in that too. That's going to be free to you guys. And there'll be loads available for you. So just drop me a message if you're not too sure. If you want to set a goal and then you want to send me a message to say, this is my goal, this is what I'm thinking, what do you think? And you want me to kind of give you some feedback on it and help you to make it really specific, something that you can really get excited about, something that you can really measure your progress on, then absolutely please do that. I would love to help you with that over the next month or so. So just get in touch. And if you're doing the exercise like I did, so the sort of accomplishments, the achievements, the proud of, I would love for you to take a photo of that and share that in the comments of this live as well. So feel free to participate in that, or even if you just want to type a couple of things in about what you're most proud of. And some of you watching right now, whether you're watching live or on the replay, can probably think straight away of 2 or 3 things that you're most proud of for this year. Type them in, share them, and let's really celebrate those things together, because it's only through your own actions, your own mindset, that you've achieved those things. And too often we just forget about the things that we've achieved and we just move on to the next thing. So I want to really encourage you to revel in your own glory and what it is you've achieved, and then think about, okay, so how can I use that enthusiasm, how can I use those learnings to think about what I want to do in 2019. And as I say, if you're not quite clear about that just yet, doesn't matter, don't panic. January the 1st does not have to be the start of a new goal, a new resolution for you. It can be January the 2nd, it can be January the 15th, it doesn't matter. But I would love to hear your thoughts around what you're feeling most proud of. I would love to know what it is that you've learned along the way about achieving your goals this year, and what it is that you're focusing on for next year too. So Julie, proud of getting 2 new jobs. Yay, I know, fantastic Julie. I mean, you have had a really big life change this year, and ticking off your bucket list items, fantastic. Yeah, and it's been great to sort of see you going on that, and then be part of your sort of friend circle as well, and seeing you achieve those things. It's fantastic. And really do celebrate this with your friends. You know, if you've got friends around you who are saying, oh, I don't know what I've done this year, I don't think I've achieved anything, use those questions with them, encourage them to think about what are they most proud of, you know, what have they learned along the way, and what do they want to think about for next year, and encourage them to start, you know, putting those things into their heads as well, and getting on and doing some of those things for next year. So if you're watching live, great, thank you so much for joining. I'm sorry I haven't been able to sort of keep up with some of the comments there. I've seen a couple of them popping through, but also put your messages in, carry on commenting. If you're watching on the replay, still comment, and I'll still reply a bit later on. And as I say, if you want me to have a little nose at your goals and things like that, then just pop them in a message to me, put them down below in the comments, and I'll reply a bit later. And I'm going to go and rescue my little one from CBB's pantomime, because I think he's done now. He gave me 5-10 minutes, so I'm very grateful for that. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I will speak to you really soon. Take care.